Just. Hi all, всем привет. Khayırlı gün, good day. We have Shayakhmetova Balzhan, middle software engineer from Halyk Bank, joining us here. And welcome, Balzhan. Thank you for having time for us. Many people will watch the recording because it's Friday evening. Already 3 people joining. Hi all. As you know, you can ask your questions in the chat and I will send them over. And welcome, Balzhan.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you, Askar, for inviting me. And hello everyone. I hope you're having a nice evening.
Yeah, people are shy. They will post comments later when they warm up. So don't worry that sometimes it's silent. Do you want to share your presentation? Should I put it?
Yeah, so I can start now. So I have a little presentation for you guys. So it's the topic for today's meetup or masterclass, as it's called. It's how to become a Java backend developer. A backend developer. First, we're going to discuss what is backend and front end. Yeah. Then we will maybe some tips. I will tell about some tips. Then maybe some helpful references that you can join in Telegram, and it's different links. So first, I'm going to start talking about what is development and what is backend and front-end development. As you may know, web development can be divided into really large and big groups. It's front-end and backend. So front end, it focuses on like image, on visualization, on showing some tips, showing something on a website, and backend focuses more on building code, writing algorithm, and it works more on the basic logic on how the web app or website works. Yep. So some programming languages used in front end is just like JavaScript or HTML, CSS, maybe some React and Vue.js. Vue.js is really developing right now, and in backend it's really big and popular languages like Python, Java. I am programming in Java and Python and Node.js. I actually haven't introduced myself. Should I?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're going backwards, and a bit. I'm gonna talk about myself. So again, hello everyone. My name is Balzhan, and I am middle Java backend developer in Halyk Bank. Yep, I'm working there for 4 months now. Yeah, what else? I'm programming on Java for 2 years. I started programming when I first applied for college, and it's 4 years now. I started programming from C++. Yep, and I have a really big range of programming languages. I was really finding my language. So when I stopped at Java 2 years ago, previously I was programming on Python, maybe on some React, and even though I was in front end a bit, yeah, but I stopped on back end right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Pass.
So we're now continuing on this topic, and I was talking about backend and front end. I hope that you understood the difference between those two, and then just little tips and some knowledge that you should know to become a backend developer. We're not talking about being a good one, yeah, I'm kidding. So how to become a backend developer? First, I think that you should really focus on one language, because you know that now there are a lot of languages, and they're popular ones, and they're having their time and the fuss about them. So really focus on one language and try to choose one. It can be any language as Java, Python, React, Node.js, and etc. Maybe some Elixir or Golang. Yeah, you can really, there is a range, so you can choose one. There is really good opportunities and choices. The second is data structures and algorithms. I never get tired of saying that data structure and algorithms is really essential topic and really essential knowledge to be known by a developer. Not really used in practice as my day-to-day life, because in my maybe work life or in my work time, I'm not really writing some Dijkstra or really hard code, because it's not the good practice to write something, really big and structured. But it's really good to know those, because it can be used in developing your maybe logic and in developing your structural thinking. Yep, and really good knowledge to be shown on the maybe some interviews. I mean, interviews for jobs. Yeah. Um, the third one is learning frameworks and sticking to it. There is a lot of frameworks. I don't know about other languages, but in Java there is a really good range of frameworks, starting from Spring, that for developing web application, Spring, maybe some Maven, and etc. Yeah, we're not really stopping here, because you know what frameworks is, and you should really stick to it. Yeah. The fourth one is databases. So backender can be maybe alias or maybe a plus and a collection of really different types of works. So it's like database connections. You can be a database connector as a backend developer, or you can write some code and logic for website. So knowing databases and knowing how to collect ones or how to inject ones is really essential, and really like you should know that. Yep. And also backend development is maybe a bit of pain for sometimes, because you're going on this really sick and really sick line of not being over this line and not overcompensating or overcomplicating your code. Yeah, and sometimes you should choose some easier steps to achieve better solutions. Yeah, so that's why you should know databases. And yep. um, Maybe something really important is training. Yeah, training. I would recommend lead code for writing some logic, for structures, for algorithms, and etc. And developing. Yep, you should do it consistently every day. Developing, making your portfolio. Yeah.
Cool. Lead code is like kind of default website for training.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why it's like lead code is the best. Yeah, so
Lead
it's
code
cool.
is the best, as well as Code Wars. I like Code Wars too, because it's interesting, more interesting, like from late code. Because for me, late code is really harsh, something strict, a Stack Overflow, and like Code Wars is something when you can chill, maybe talk with someone, and there's kata systems, and it may be interesting for someone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's all for backend developer. It seems easy, right? Okay. uh, some
If it would
helpful
be,
chat.
if it would be so easy, it wouldn't be so high paid job.
Yeah, it wouldn't be so high paid. Yeah. Um, so I just wrote here some helpful chatting groups in Telegram. The first one is developers I joined lately, as Askar suggested to me. Then there's a bunch of groups for finding a job, maybe finding a group of people to stick to maybe develop some skills, or maybe to reconnect, or maybe for different types of work. Then I have I2 and startup. it's for finding hackathons, maybe some contests, because contests and hackathons are really important for developer, I guess. Yeah, and for beginner developers because they don't have really bunch of skill for applying for a job. Yeah, hi. And the last one is resume review. So it's not a group, it's a chat where you can send your resume and the other people will review it. It's only for IT people. Yep.
Pretty cool. Actually, do you want me to put the music back, or it's like now it's better without music?
I think that the music will fill the
Distract.
emptiness.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's select one. It's like 10 music types here. The one we. This one good, or do you want me to try different?
No, I like this one. It's like
one
R&B
for
beats.
feeding the ducks. Just put slightly higher. So, guys, you type your questions. Meanwhile, I will be asking questions I prepared. Regarding English language, we just speak English, although in real life we speak different language. It's just for web streaming, especially for guys from all like other countries. And Balzhan, do you use like how useful was English in your career as an engineer?
Right. Actually, my knowledge in English it's quite good, as I can say. It's not like I'm teaching or etc. But I think that English is really important because something really important and all the like programming languages bus is written in English. So maybe understanding is for your own understanding and for your, but for the career, I think that pre-intermediate is enough. But if you want to express yourself and people to know what you mean or what you wrote in that code to explain something, I think that, yep.
Basically,
English.
like reading, technical reading is enough, right?
Yes.
Well, in Kazakhstan,
Yeah,
if you want
I guess
to
so.
do IT expert, might be different. And we met with you on this IT University meetup last week, and
Uh-huh.
you were sharing your experience of becoming a middle software engineer. And in Kazakhstan context, who is a junior engineer? What should know the junior backend developer? And middle backend developer, what he should know, or she?
It's actually up to every company. Some company may presume that a person is a junior or a middle, so it doesn't really matter because in the context of different companies is different. But the general knowledge that maybe junior and a middle can be divided by is that middle can develop the code independently without the help of maybe some older colleagues. Yeah. And maybe it also the knowledge of frameworks and diving in these frameworks because frameworks has a lot of features and really diving in is the job of a middle engineer. What else? Um, Maybe it's the independence and thinking about the details. Because for middle developer, it's not really the solving the problem; it's by developing the problem. Because when he sees the problem, the first thought that comes in his mind is like diving in details. Like, okay, I'm gonna use this authentication or this token for this, so like that. But for junior, it's more like maybe. presenting some simpler code. It does mean that junior and middle wrote different code, but it's more like in syncing, and maybe that's it. In syncing manner, yeah.
Like you work in like largest bank, commercial bank, and in the banks it's usually how long it takes typically for people in your team to become middle engineer.
Okay, so for me personally, this switch was really fast. I didn't really expect it, but for my team lead, for example, he was working for like 3 years to become to switch to senior level from middle. But I guess that from junior to middle is like 2 or 1 year. Yeah, it can be really fast.
Depending on the passion, I guess.
Yeah.
By the way, I put this lead code or code wars poll in devs Telegram, and 80% they vote for lead code for some reason. I don't know. Can you see? So lead code is maybe not many people don't know about code wars. I heard about it from you just now. And I have next prepared question. Because these months, for example, we have in IT universities there are 4,000 bachelors in software engineering. In KB2 it's 1,600, and in every university there are a lot of fresh bachelors studying, and I'm just worried. Is it enough like career opportunities, job openings for software engineer? Is it worth starting to study as engineer today if you are a school person today, if you're young? What do you think?
I do think that even though there is a lot of, like, if you can say, fish in the sea, it's not a really good choices because we have, I don't know that, yeah, job opportunities is enough because Kazakhstani's market really developing right now because there is a lot of solutions that we're presenting as well, starting from maybe some companies to fintech companies. There's a lot of fintech solutions. So I think that there is enough jobs, but what outstands you above other, maybe your, I don't know how to say, opposites,
Competitors.
competitors, yeah, it's being a good one. How to be a good one is practice, practice, and practice.
I think
Maybe.
the next generation, they have a lot more competition than we have. So
Yeah, actually, I do think so. Starting from junior developers, nowadays companies ask from junior developers so much. They're asking as well as from middle developers. It's like junior developers is a middle developer, but they can maybe being okay with him making mistakes. Maybe that's why.
yeah, it's tough times. Guys, you can type your questions, because if you don't questions, we will finish the stream. So you have time, because I have prepared one more question. So Balzhan, if could you name 3 companies where you would apply your CV for a job? Well, not your bank, some other 3 companies in Kazakhstan or maybe in Central Asia. Some advice, small or opinion.
So I think that there is a lot of good companies in Kazakhstan, but I personally would apply to I'm maybe data art, yeah, because data art really developing right now. I was in a dev fest recently. It was 2 weeks ago or so.
In Astana? Yeah.
No, it was in Almaty too.
In Turan, right?
In Turan University, yeah. So there was data art, and they make really big contests, and actually job opportunities that they offer, they're really good. Data art, maybe one tech, they're um, making some for internships and for some beginners, maybe some grad students. um, what else? uh, I'm not gonna talk about Колеса because there's a lot of competition. Yeah, so you can't really apply if you're new or a beginner. Yeah,
Really? To Колеса?
to Колеса, yeah.
Well, I didn't
There's a
know.
lot of competition. So it's for one place around 20 people or so.
I thought they don't have enough employees, so they do Колеса Academy, etc.
Yeah, so they don't have a lot of employees, but they mostly offer jobs for maybe some middles or
Mm,
for juniors. But I'm for beginners, maybe for grad students.
mm. Oh, so those are probably the top ones. And we have a question from Neonchik. Which stack of technology are you recommending to know? I think this is person is also using Google Translate like me.
Okay. So which stack of technologies? Personally, I use JavaScript for front end. I'm not really like a backender because, as being honest, I'm full stack developer because I develop front end too. But yeah, maybe some. I am developing on Java and JavaScript, but I'm thinking about switching to Golang.
Hmm,
Yeah, because Golang really developing right now, and Google itself can really support and really good language also. It's Elixir. Um, yeah, what else? For
yeah.
Java, personally, I can say that framework is Spring, maybe some Hibernate, Maven. Um, for front end, it's JavaScript, Ajax,
Hmm.
maybe what else?
I
Java
heard
server pages. Yeah.
we have this holy wars. I heard from Kotlin developers that in Go, by the way, Amy is also asking what about Kotlin. But
Ah, yeah, Kotlin.
before asking Kotlin, we had in the first in Almaty Alexander, and I forgot somebody told that Go developers, there are a lot of Go developers, a lot of bad ones, like a lot of on the market. And Kotlin, there are not many developers, and there are a lot of good ones. Maybe it's very not true, but I heard such opinion. Just I don't know, off topic. Sorry, I just should
No,
ask
that's good.
questions. And,
I like
so
Kotlin too. Yeah. I actually developed for open source on Kotlin. There was a plugin that
mm,
I developed. It's for noticing the mistakes. Yeah.
oh wow. Did you so you don't code in Kotlin anymore, right? Or you continue?
No, I was like coding only for this contest, only for this open source project.
Uh, by the way, we have this Google Developer Expert programs.
Mhm.
Uh, if you want to mentor other people, then you can have technical interview with Google, and they will say you are an expert, but it
Mhm.
should be as a Go or Kotlin, like Google related technologies. So if you want, you can apply. I can like uh, recommend you to this program. Refer this
Oh,
because
really?
we don't have in Central Asia. We have only one GDE. He was from
Ah.
he relocated from Russia in a few months ago, and he applied for GDE from Kazakhstan. But
Mhm.
it's uh, Neonchik writing, and so you don't use any JavaScript framework.
So actually, my company's stack is really old. So that's why we're not using JavaScript frameworks. But I know that there's a lot of like Vue.js, React, Node.js. But we're using native JavaScript. Yeah, that's a harsh world, my friends.
Hardcore. A lot of
Hardcore, yeah.
lines of code. And Ruslan, thank you. He's just wishing you good luck.
Thanks.
Ruslan, where are you from? Uh, from what city? Uh, please type your questions. Meanwhile, I have one additional question. Have you tried? What do you think of freelancing? Because yesterday we were talking with Adi. He is a journalist from Kursiv and about IT expert, etc. And uh, I I heard somewhere that some engineers say if you do freelancing like on Upwork, then other engineers who work in big projects they think this freelancer is not serious because you cannot have big project on freelancing. So have you tried to work as a freelance or maybe no? Yeah, just a question.
No, I haven't tried working for freelance, but I worked for open source projects, as it counts. Does it count?
Mm.
I don't think so, because open
I
source
think it's
projects
different.
doesn't pay, right?
Yeah, it's a community. I think open source is much cooler than many like paid jobs. Well,
Yeah.
it's like charity.
Yeah.
Ruslan is from Shymkent. It's a great city. I think in Shymkent is also snowing. We are with Balzhan. We are in Almaty. And so, guys, if you don't have questions, then we will finish and we will go relax. It's Friday. But interesting that many people start to activate after like 15 minutes after start. Maybe they will watch recording.
Maybe.
If you have questions, please type or we will. Oh, Imi is also. Imi, by the way, what city are you located in? His question is how is an open source project work?
It was tough because there was a deadlines that we should stick into. It wasn't. It was open hack, open source project, but it was during the hackathon, which lasted like months or so. So we should have developed a plugin. So that's why the deadlines was tough. But it was actually really interesting because I was first. It was my first experience coding in Kotlin, and I really liked this language. I was so in love with this language because everything was so easy and everything is so readable and doable. Yeah. Uh, what else? We we stopped developing the open source, and I think that the issuer stopped it too. But it was interesting. Yeah.
I think some big companies they watch CVE if you have open source and
Hmm.
contributions is a great advantage. And they
Yeah.
even look
I
for the
heard
codes.
also they look on your Stack Overflow account. Like,
Ah, Stack
yeah,
Overflow.
that's a new one, right? Because they haven't done it before, but they're
GitHub for
now.
sure, but Stack Overflow, I don't know. Maybe even social network,
Maybe
Facebook,
even social. Yeah.
LinkedIn. Uh, so Neonchik is object-oriented programming important part in your job?
Yeah, it is. It is important in every, I think that every IT job, because it's like this big field that all the programming languages is based on, all the open programming languages is based on. Yeah. And
How
it's
about
really important.
functional programming? No, not so popular.
Yeah. Not so popular. In my field of job, it's really important because we're maybe extending from bigger libraries, maybe important bigger libraries. And for example, we're a big fintech company. Some code was written really long time ago. Yeah. And it's just hard skilled, some really big bunch of monolith code that we're extending from, and maybe some extending some methods. So LP. Every field of LP is really important. Yep.
Okay, I just typing because I use my admin rights. I typed question, where are you from? Guys, Neonchik Imi. And Neonchik also clarifying his question. He meant about patterns.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, Imi is from Ethiopia. I think Imi, you are the one from Nazarbayev University, right? You are the guy from NU. Cool to have you. Neonchik is from Almaty.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I knew it because he also use Google Translate. I think he writes in Russian like me and then translate structure of the question the same. So if you don't have questions, then good evening, or I don't know, we'll just wait a few seconds in chat. Imi is not from Nazarbayev University. So Imi is actually from Ethiopia. It's cool to have you. I think you don't have snow, this for sure, because we have terrible snow in Almaty. And where I can start to learn fintech. Fintech? Maybe Imi means like doing some IT product for payments, P2P.
Where can you learn? Maybe from taking some projects. I mean, like, as you said, like B2B. Don't really know.
Yeah, it's a
I
little bit.
wasn't really actually seeking to work for fintech. It was a plans of the little thing that I have done, but I haven't really searched how can you enter fintech as a programmer. Yeah.
I think because fintech is regulated and it's closed commercial structures, you should apply to work at bank, and only in bank you can learn fintech, or in some micro loan organizations. If in Ethiopia, I think they have this M-Pesa mobile payment system.
So cute.
Sorry, apologies. And will there be live streams about data science soon? Well, data science will be next year. There are some live streams in this channel. You can watch it from the ML bootcamp. It's called Nazarbayev University. Folks did it. They did ML Fest, and also in the Fest Almaty there was some data science tracks. But this year, I think we don't have. In January we will start. So thank you guys for your questions. Thank you, Balzhan, for your time. I hope you enjoyed. If you want, we can do another stream sometime soon.
Yeah,
and
that would be cool.
This before, do you want to share your contacts, or no need, because I don't have your contacts for
Yeah,
further
I don't.
questions?
Yeah, I think that you can.
Maybe I can type later. And the last question from Mimi, what do you think about KTOR? I don't know what is KTOR. Let me Google.
It's for Kotlin, I think. It's like asynchronous Kotlin, if I'm not mistaken. Yumi, yeah.
Yes, Google says. The client-server framework that helps to build applications in Kotlin. Okay.
Yeah, so in our plugin, we haven't used it. We mainly focused on Jira, yeah, if it's right. I haven't really dive in, but as I said, we're using Ajax. I do think that some similarities maybe with Ajax and Tor, because both of them are asynchronous, and I think that's good. Good, maybe.
Yeah.
Tool.
Thank you for your time, Balzhan. Thank you all, guys. See you later. Subscribe to our channel, and sometimes we'll meet offline, hopefully. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.